Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I have been getting so many messages from people saying that they have done everything that I have been mentioning, but they still have leaky gut. They still get bloating and cramping and stuff when they eat. And then I ask, well, have you done a Candida cleanse or a parasite cleanse or this or that? And they say no. So I thought I would make a video sharing with you the three steps that you need to follow no matter what in order to heal your gut. And within each step, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do to kind of complete that step or that phase. So I hope this video is gonna break it down for you and make things a little bit clearer in terms of healing your gut and what you have to actually do. Now keep in mind, everybody is different, so I can't give you a timeline for how long it's going to take to heal your gut. I get this question over and over again about how long does it take. Everyone is absolutely different. It depends on how strict you are with all the rules. It depends on how toxic you are. It depends on how bad your candida overgrowth is, etc. It also depends if you're on any medications, things like that. So everything that I share with you is completely different for each person. So don't come and ask how long it's going to take, because like I said, I can't tell you that. So in order to determine how long it's going to take to complete each phase, you need to be in tune with your body. Kids in the background, sorry. You need to be in tune with your body, and you need to just sit down and think, like, how have I improved while following this first step, you know, since before I started. And if you think that you have significantly improved, then maybe you can move on to the next step. If you think that you still have a lot of bloating or a lot of problems, then maybe stay on that step a little longer. It'll become clear as I go through the video. So let's just get started. So there are 3 steps to healing leaky gut. The first step is to rid. Step number 1 is to rid. Step number 2 is to repair. And step number 3 is to replace. So I'm gonna go through each step and explain what you need to do. So for step number 1, to rid, it means you need to rid your body of all the bad bacteria, fungus, parasites, even bad food and toxins. So the first phase is the most important, and you cannot heal your gut if you skip this phase. And I know a lot of people try to heal their gut without first killing the candida and parasites and bad bacteria, and it's wasted efforts, unfortunately. So the first thing you want to do in order to rid your body of the bad bacteria is first change your diet. So it's a fly. Bad bacteria feed off of sugars, processed foods and oils. It's a fly, oh my gosh. Bad bacteria feed off of, like I said, processed foods and bad oils, lots of sugar, high fat foods, things like that. So you want to completely clean out your diet. It's going to be the hardest phase you're going to have to do, but I promise once it's done, you will feel so much better and it will be so worth it. It takes a lot of time to adjust your diet, especially if you're used to eating really bad foods, but once you have adjusted, it becomes a lot easier. So I do recommend taking this phase slow and taking your time with it and taking however long you need. You're not in a rush. So if you rush this phase, you might end up regressing in the next phases because you start craving certain foods again and stuff. So take it slow. If you're used to eating really bad foods, start eliminating 1 or 2 foods a week or every 2 weeks until you are where you want to be. You want to just focus on eating lots of fresh and organic, if possible, fruits and veggies. You want to well, actually not so much fruit, I'll touch on that in a minute, but fruits and veggies, you want to focus on eating lots of good quality protein and lots of good quality healthy fats. And fiber. You do not want to be eating sugars, anything out of a box or processed, unless it's minimally processed. So a good idea, something you want to do is when you start this candida cleansing phase, you first want to make sure you have done a liver cleansing phase. Do not attempt to rid your body of candida and parasites if you have not first done a liver cleanse. I have a video on it, I'll link it up here, talking about how to do one. You need to do one first. If your liver is not functioning properly, it cannot handle the amount of toxins that will be coming out as a candida die-off. They release toxins when they die. And when you start doing a cleanse and detoxing, these toxins that have been in your body for a long time will also need to be detoxified. And if your liver cannot handle that load, it will come out through your skin or your nose. You might get a really runny nose. You might get headaches. You might develop eczema or psoriasis. So it's very important to take the steps slow, make sure that you have done a liver cleanse, and then move on to try to eliminate candida. So how do we eliminate candida and parasites? My first biggest tip is taking antifungals. I mentioned black walnut a lot because it is extremely important. You can buy it in a tincture form, and it is just so powerful at eliminating parasites and Candida. You need to take black walnut for a minimum of 30 days. Do not go less than that, or the eggs that the parasites have laid will just rehatch or whatever and develop into new full-blown worms and parasites. So do minimum 30 days. 2 months, 3 months, the longer you can go, the better. So my top one is black walnut. The next supplement I really recommend taking is something called caprylic acid. It is a component in coconut oil, and it's really powerful at killing bad bacteria and Candida. So bad bacteria and yeast. So those are my 2 top favorites. My 3rd favorite, and you take this all together, would be grapefruit seed extract. You can buy lots of it on Amazon or anywhere really. It's pretty easily obtainable, and grapefruit seed extract is also really fantastic at killing parasites and bad bacteria in your body. So those are my top 3 supplements. Now, I always recommend taking a probiotic during the RID phase because I do find that it really does help not only to detoxify, but they help to digest your food, which in the long run produces less toxins. They help provide B vitamins for your body. So I always recommend taking probiotics no matter what phase you're in. Take the probiotics away from the black walnut. And in terms of, like, people always ask, when should I take black walnut? How do I take it? It really depends on the type you are taking in the company. Follow the directions on the bottle and you should be good. But black walnut is usually taken on an empty stomach 3 times a day if it's in a tincture form. So those are my antifungals that I really recommend. Now on top of that, I recommend eating a lot of antibacterial food. So lots of coconut oil, lots of fresh raw grated garlic. Either put it in a salad dressing or in some yogurt or something, but consume a lot of grated fresh garlic. It's really, really powerful at killing Candida and parasites. Also ginger, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, warming spices, adding them to smoothies, to your food, to your rice, things like that, your salad dressing. It's really going to help to warm up the body, to kind of soak up moisture and reduce dampness in the body, which also in turn will help reduce the Candida overload in your body. So once you're taking those, you want to look at diet. So you want to be ridding like I said, rid your body of anything bad. So cut out the bad foods in your diet, bring in good foods. You really want to focus on eating lots of good quality organic veggies, like I mentioned, some protein and fats and fiber, but you really want to limit your carb intake. I know a lot of people say that they lose weight really easily. If that is a problem for you, up your fat intake, up your protein intake. Don't eat less, eat more if you want, definitely, but try to really lower your carb intake. If you can't handle no carb or really low carb, eat certain foods like organic spreaded wild rice or a little bit of organic quinoa, maybe once or twice a week, just during this phase only, until your Candida is cleared, and just chew it really, really, really well, and make sure you're taking a digestive enzyme during this phase, not only to help break down your food, but to also provide your body with the enzymes it needs for its entire function. Your whole body runs on enzymes, so I really recommend taking a digestive enzyme. So lower your fruit intake as well. You can have berries during this phase, but don't eat things like watermelon and banana. Those are really high in sugar, and that's going to just feed the Candida just during this phase. So again, focus on reducing your carb, even if it's a healthy carb. Stay away from honey, maple syrup. Unfortunately, you can make, I have on my Instagram, actually, it's at Marla's Healthy Life. It's in the description box below. I post lots of Candida friendly recipes and tips and stuff, and psoriasis tips, so make sure you check it out. But yeah, just focus on eating whole foods with lowest amount of sugar and carbs as possible. I do have a lot of tips on this channel about how to eat when you're on the Candida diet, so I'm not going to get into too much detail here. So once you have rid your body of Candida, or you're starting to, and rid your body of bad foods and start incorporating healthy foods, during this phase you also want to focus on just ridding your life in general of bad toxins. So maybe if you're drinking out of plastic bottles, get rid of that and get a good quality filter and start drinking out of, the filter in a glass cup. If you're using a lot of toxic shampoos, maybe look for something a little bit more non-toxic, maybe some more non-toxic laundry detergent, dish soaps, things like that. Try to start eliminating your life of toxic substances, because they do all enter your body, whether it's through your skin, whether it's through breathing the scent in or actually consuming it, and those are all gonna, just like I said, create a higher toxic load on your body, and it's gonna be that much harder to heal your gut. So rid your body of everything toxic, and don't go crazy. Start slow. It isn't definitely an overwhelming phase, and if you're not used to living a very clean life, it can definitely set you back and then make you not want to do it at all. So start slow. Like I said, it's not a race. You're not in a rush. So that leads us into step number 2. So this is the repair phase. So once you have killed your Candida, killed the parasites and the bad bacteria and all the other yeast in your body, and you have detoxed, you are ready to start actually repairing the gut. So at this point, your gut lining is going to be pretty destroyed, but your microbial imbalance is not going to be out of whack. You're going to have pretty much no Candida and hopefully no parasites left, and that kind of leaves you like a clean slate to start repairing. So during this foods, you will start incorporating more carbs into your diet and lots more fruits and things like that. So the first thing you're going to want to focus on are healing foods. These are foods that are going to actually help repair and actually rebuild the lining of the gut. So foods like bone broth protein. I love Ancient Nutrition. I have a discount code. It's Marla's Healthy Life. You get 20% off anything on the Dr. Axe store. It's in the description box below, so you can check it out. But things like bone broth protein, gelatin, collagen, they contain amino acids that are necessary to rebuild that gut lining. I also always recommend aloe vera gel to people. This isn't something you're going to take long term. This is just something you're going to take during the repair phase and maybe a little bit after. It tastes terrible, but I really recommend drinking some aloe vera gel. You can do like a quarter of a cup or less on an empty stomach in the morning, and again on an empty stomach at night, and this just really helps to rebuild the gut lining. It hydrates it. It's a powerful antioxidant. It also helps to fight Candida as well. Then I always recommend L-glutamine. That's probably one of the #1 supplements you're gonna want to take. Your whole body uses L-glutamine in abundance to repair cells and rebuild cells. So L-glutamine is extremely important. You want to get the free form, and you don't want any added fillers or ingredients. My favorite is to just get the powdered L-glutamine. I'm currently using Natural Factors, but there are loads. If you're in the US, try About Time is a fantastic company. And just take 5 grams of the L-glutamine on an empty stomach and some water in the morning, and again at night on an empty stomach. And this is really gonna help to rebuild the gut. A lot of people ask if they could take L-glutamine with food, and you definitely can. The thing is amino acids compete for absorption, and you want L-glutamine mostly out of all the other amino acids when you're trying to heal the gut. So if you take L-glutamine with other amino acids, a lot of it's not going to get absorbed, so it's kind of #1, like you're wasting it, but #2, you're not getting the benefits from it. So if you just don't have enough time to take everything on an empty stomach, you could definitely throw it in a smoothie or something. You'll still absorb some, but you won't be absorbing as much, so maybe up the dose a little bit. But if you can, take it on an empty stomach. Those are my top 3 supplements for healing and repairing the gut. Then I really recommend something called licorice root. You can just drink the tea. That really helps balance mucus levels in the gut, which means that you're not going to have too much mucus, so nutrients will actually be able to get absorbed, but you're not going to have so little that things can actually seep through. So I really recommend trying out licorice, and with that you can either take peppermint essential oil or peppermint tea, which kind of has a similar effect. It kind of stimulates digestive juice production, so you'll be digesting your food better, and it balances mucus levels in the gut. Finally, if you feel like you have a lot of inflammation in your body, if you have psoriasis or eczema, which at this point should be pretty much cleared if you have done the Candida cleanse completely, but if you still feel like there's some heat in your body, then I really recommend taking something called slippery elm. It's a very cheap supplement. I really like Nature's Way capsules. You can just take some and drink it with some water in the capsules, and it really helps reduce inflammation in your gastrointestinal tract. It's fantastic if you have IBS or Crohn's or anything like that. It really reduces inflammation and soothes the gut, and you will notice it working almost immediately within like half an hour or so. So highly recommend giving it a try. It's a very inexpensive supplement. You definitely don't need to take it, but it's just something that you might want to think about. So during the repair phase, you're taking a lot of these kind of foods. Now you want to start bringing in some more nutritious packed foods. So you don't want to go crazy on the grains, because when you're repairing, you still really need to watch your grain intake, as grains do contain lectins, as well as beans contain lectins as well. And if you are consuming a lot of beans and lectins and things like that, they destroy the gut lining. So you really during this phase don't want to kind of avoid your grains, but you do want to start bringing in carbs. So things like squash, that's fantastic. Where you couldn't eat squash on the Candida diet, you can eat it now. Things like beets, even sweet potatoes. I highly recommend avoiding nightshades during the gut repair phase as well. Preferably eggs too. Even though I love eggs personally, I would recommend avoiding them because it can be allergenic and can therefore kind of stall the repair process, but that's up to you. But yeah, you can start eating fruit. You can have apples and pears and things like that. Again, just make sure you chew your food really well. You want to focus on digestion during this phase. You want to make sure that you're not inhaling your food so quick that whole chunks are staying in your stomach to putrefy and create more toxins and kind of tear up the gut again and start inviting Candida to come back. So this phase you have to focus on digestion. So just chew your food well, eat foods that are nice and steamed, try to avoid raw veggies during this phase and focus on warming foods. You're going to drink a lot of bone broth, you're going to have a lot of soups, you're going to drink a lot of teas, eat a lot of smoothies, just really easy digested blended foods, if that makes sense. But you don't have to really worry about sugar as much. Stay away from cane sugar and gluten always, but if you do want to have a teeny bit of maple syrup or some raw honey, that's actually fantastic for helping heal the gut, so go for it and enjoy it. But like I said, try to avoid grains as much as you can. If you do really feel like you need the grains, make sure they are soaked and sprouted, at least during this phase, to help with digestion. So I think I kind of covered everything. So that leads us into our last phase, which is the repair phase. So this phase, you're going to focus on just flooding your system with those good probiotics again, the good bacteria, kind of rebalancing that dysbiosis that you once had. So this phase is going to focus on probiotics. You're going to be taking a high potent dose, minimum 50 billion. I was taking 500 billion at one point, so it's really up to you. You might want to start slow though and work your way up, as it can be overwhelming to your system. But lots of fermented foods. You can start bringing in kimchi and sauerkraut and even a little bit of kombucha. Don't go crazy, because a lot of kombucha you buy from the store is packed with sugar and contain up to like 20 grams of sugar in a bottle. So make sure you read the back and make sure it's low in sugar, or make your own. But either way, kombucha is fantastic. So just start bringing in fermented things. If you can handle dairy, I highly recommend a good quality organic grass-fed whole yogurt. That's fantastic. You can bring in kefir. So things like that. You're going to focus on foods that are fermented, so you can start eating rice again. Make sure it's fantastic and sprouted. If you want lentils, have lentils, but again, make sure they're sprouted. It is so easy to do it at your, like by yourself at your home. You literally take any bean or nut or rice, you soak it on the counter for 24 to 48 hours, then lay it in a bowl with only a teeny bit of water at the bottom in the sun, either on a windowsill, or you can even leave it outside if you live somewhere hot, and watch it sprout. It is so fantastic, so easy. Once it's sprouted, you just rinse it under water and cook it up and you're good to go. So definitely give sprouting a try. Super easy, but it provides your body with those good quality probiotics, and it also makes it very easy to digest, and it reduces the amount of lectins that are normally in grains and legumes and things like that. You also can start consuming, like, your diet's gonna be pretty wide now. You shouldn't have many allergies left once your gut is healed. You shouldn't have a lot of problems. So just make sure you're always taking a digestive enzyme throughout all three phases. I highly recommend taking hydrochloric acid through all three phases, provided you do not have ulcers or too much stomach acid, as that will cause a problem. But if you take it through all three phases, it's going to make sure your digestion's on point, and you should not have these problems return that you once had, as long as, like I said, your digestion's good. So you're going to focus on lots of apple cider vinegar. It has live probiotics, but it also is really good at just repairing that gut and providing the optimum pH environment in your intestines for the new probiotics that you're bringing in. And during this phase, you want to focus on prebiotics, things like raw jicama, green banana, coconut, like fresh raw coconut. These are all good prebiotics that you can be taking. Yacon syrup is fantastic too. So there's lots of things out there. Blackstrap molasses. So definitely you can go on Google, find a good list of prebiotics, and just make sure you take them to kind of provide the probiotics that you're going to be flooding your system with some food. That's pretty much it. So those are the three phases pretty much summed up. I'm sure I missed a few things, and I'm sure I'm gonna get some questions. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. But like I said, the most important phase is going to be phase number 1, which is to get rid of all that candida and parasites that are in your system. That's going to be the most important. And then during all three phases, make sure you take a digestive enzyme, and make sure you take hydrochloric acid, again, if you do not have ulcers. Be very careful with that supplement, and probiotics. So I know I'm gonna get a few questions, so I'm gonna end the video with a couple of my favorite supplements. In terms of digestive enzymes, I always recommend plant enzymes. They can survive a wide pH range, which means they don't get inactivated by stomach acid, etc. So I highly recommend plant enzymes. I really like the Organica plant enzymes. I also love, if you are in the States, I highly recommend the Dr. Axe enzymes. Plus you get 20% off with my discount code. I don't get any commission or anything from that. It's just for you guys. So I'll leave the discount code in the description box below. But definitely take some kind of digestive enzyme. And for hydrochloric acid, pick any company you want, make sure there's no fillers or anything bad, and just look for betaine HCl. And that's pretty much it for probiotics. There's a few that I have been really liking. Of course, my favorite would be SBO from Dr. Axe. I mention this company a lot because I do really like all his products. They're absolutely incredible. And again, you'd get 20% off. So definitely, if you're in the US, you can look into that. If you're in another country, if you're in Canada, I really have been liking Flora Healthy probiotics. You really want to stay away from probiotics that have FOS, fructooligosaccharides, in it, as that will also feed some bad bacteria, which you probably will still have a little bit left of in your system at this point. So definitely stay away from those. But one of my favorite companies, like I said, is Flora Healthy. They have a wide range of probiotics you can look into. I really like NACA. I think it's NACA Originals. They're really good too. So you can look into that. If you're in another country, I don't know any probiotics from another country, so just go on Amazon, find something that has a bunch of strains, especially the Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium strains. I think I covered everything. One final tip, I always recommend drinking hot lemon water through every single phase before you even start trying to heal your gut. Hot lemon water, it cleanses the liver, it detoxes your system, it stimulates digestive juice production. It's fantastic. Use organic lemons if you can find it, because you really want to reduce the pesticides and the toxins you're bringing into your body. But hot lemon water is perfect, and I always recommend liquid chlorophyll throughout all 3 phases as well, as it, again, same thing, cleanses the liver, cleanses your digestive system, it kind of deodorizes the body. So I highly recommend that. So those are my top supplements and tips. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and can finally understand the 3 phases to healing your gut, and you can't do one phase without the other. You have to do it in that order, or you will not heal your gut, and you'll be spending years on money, over many years, and supplements and crazy diets, and you're not going to heal. So follow the steps and you'll be well on your way to healing your gut and improving your health overall. So thank you so much for watching this video. I love you all, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.